my fellow individuals, I am Mr. Minimask Man here, and today we're going to talk about Season 6, Episode 3 of Game of Thrones. And obviously, as you can see in the title of this video, there's spoilers in this, so be aware, so don't watch this if you have not seen the episode yet. Now, what I thought about this episode, I like this one too. I mean, personally, the previous episode from last week was a bit better because there was more things going on, but this one there's actually a few things that I actually really liked. I get the impression this episode again is more events or keep. It's kind of like building up again, so there's more build up, a few wow factors I guess you can say, and then there's some interesting scenes that I do want to talk about. But for now, let me just get this out of the way and let me break down the episode. Now, let's see, the first thing that happened. Jon Snow, obviously, like last week, he's back. He is back! So, we see him get up with a new haircut, by the way. And Sir Davos amazed that he came back from the dead, as well as also Melisandre as well. They're all just amazed. And obviously we all are, so we just want to see what he does, what he thinks of his situation. Now, he claims after Melisandre asked him, what did you see after death? And he said he saw nothing. Well, at least Jon Snow, he knows nothing, right? But, yeah, I mean, now, like, some people are theorizing that he might be a bit different as he gets revived or forget things, but also one of the things he actually does remember everything. He remembers who killed him, what happened, everything before his death and before. So his memory is still there. Now, besides that, now from here, Jon Snow still, he's doubting himself of his leadership, or maybe not really. That's not what I meant to say, but there's things where he thought he was doing the right thing, but ended up costing the price of his death. That's what he's thinking. That's what he's seeing. That's what he thought. You know, right after he died, he's like, I tried to do the best thing, and look what happened. I got killed for it. So, in a way, kind of feel like you see Jon Snow's kind of sick and tired of the Night's Watch deal. But yeah, so I mean, you know, Jon Snow, we'll talk about at the end what he does later, and what we kind of are going to go seeing him later on this season, and probably for the rest of the series. But yeah, he's back, and I'm just glad he's back. I really am. And he's a slightly different. Not really, but I can kind of tell him he might be a direct attitude compared to, you know, the usual Jon Snow that we know. Now, let's see what happened next. Okay, next thing was Sam and Gilly finally appeared in this season. And they're on a ship boarding, going to the Citadel that Sam told Jon that he was going to become a Maester. He was more suited, I guess, for that role. He wanted to learn, he wanted to gain knowledge, and fix the Night Watch situation, probably become a Maester there, to be with Jon. At least I assume, if I recall. But yeah, you know, there's this, now, funny thing, I don't know if it's Gilly in this episode, her dialogue, her acting, there's something just weird or odd. I don't know how to explain it, but something was off, I guess, that I felt. I don't know, I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen Gilly in the previous seasons, but it's like the way that she talks and all that is Gilly, but there's just moments where it just seemed kind of off. Like, the thing that she tried to make the joke about the C and C, and just some other things. I can't really explain it. I have to watch it again and see if maybe it's just me. It's probably just me, but I don't know. Something was off about her dialogue in that scene. But anyways, yeah, all you need to know, Sam and Gilly are going to the Citadel, and Sam is seasick. But now, the thing that actually, this is my favorite scene from this episode after this was Bran's vision again to the past with training from the Three-Eyed Raven. The Tower of Joy. What we were waiting for. We finally see it. We see a young Ned Stark. Howland Reed. That was the other character that I think, if I recall, the only two that know about the truth of Jon Snow, or what happened in that Tower of Joy. So we see them and a couple of the other guys from the Starks, or Reeds, and we see two guards, and one of them, his name is Arthur Dayne. Arthur Dayne. There's so much I want to talk about, but I'm not going to blabber on the whole thing. I'm going to get straight to the point. So now, they're protecting the tower from, I believe it was Rhaegar Targaryen told him to protect, to guard the tower where Lyanna Stark is. So something's going on there, obviously. Something very important. Now, man, okay. The freaking fight in that, I loved it. Some people are kind of saying, oh, they should have done it better. There was more things that could have improved. Maybe so, but I was satisfied with this one. The choreography was just really well in this one, and what I love about it is Arthur Dayne, the first person I see so far in this series, if I remember, actually fighting with dual swords. And it was freaking beast. He was killing those guys left and right. Oh man. God, I was like freaking pumped when I saw the dual swords come out. I'm like, finally, there's a dual swordsman in this show. So I finally get to see it in action. He was pretty badass. He was. Arthur Dayne was no joke. And now here was something interesting. After he was fighting, he technically could have won. He could have killed Ned, but he got killed, by the cheap way. He got backstabbed by Howard Reed. And obviously in a fight, it's a dirty fight, but kind of the balance were like, are we going to fight fair or just want to win? We just want to kill and, go to our mission, or, what we have to do. So, I mean, yeah, it is pretty, it sucks how Arthur Dayne got down. He didn't, die in a regular sword fight, but he was impossible to beat. Obviously, from the past, they said he was one of the best swordsmen, if not the best swordsman during that time. But, oh god, that was just awesome. I loved that fight. I just really loved it. So, especially with the dual swords, he was doing pretty well. He was fighting so many guys, him and the other guy, but god damn. He was almost, maybe not, I kind of stretch him, almost like Darth Maul of Game of Thrones, but not really, but still, you know what I mean. Now, here's what was interesting. Bran, and I read this somewhere in the comments and social media, Bran was mentioning that Ned and others during that time were telling stories that Ned was the one that defeated Arthur Dayne. But when he saw him out, he saw the truth that it was actually Howard Reed that stabbed him in the back and killed Arthur Dayne while Ned was in the ground without a sword. Now, here's an interesting thing that people are saying. Ned obviously is the most honorable man that we know in Westeros, or in Game of Thrones in the series. The most honorable. Always truthful, etc. So, why would he lie about that? I mean, besides saying trying to not be humiliated, of course. But there's just it's interesting that he would kind of go with the lie on that and say he wasn't honest of the way that Arthur Dayne died during that fight. So that kind of keeps you thinking of Ned Stark's character. Is he truly an honorable man? I mean, I know it's just a lie, but there's just something where even Bran was shocked, like, he got stabbed in the back? He says, I thought my father beated him. That's what he told him. That's what the stories goes. So there's something interesting about that. That it could, if he's not 100% honorable, then maybe that's sort of thing. What if the whole time Ned was actually Jon Snow's father? Actually, his story was actually true. But toss that aside for a second. But I don't know. There's something. I got that feeling. It's kind of weird. But all right. And now after Sir Arthur Dayne, gets killed, Ned Stark was going to the tower. Bran was there looking for him. And he wanted to see what was in the tower. Not just him, all of us. We wanted to see what was in the Tower of Joy. Until the frickin' Red Raven said, hey man, we're done. Next time. I was just like, no. It's like, I gotta see what's in there. You hear Lyanna start crying in the tower, probably giving birth, obviously, or at least I assume. But, oh man. But no, he woke up again. He woke Bran up. I was like, come on. Just tell us. But I guess we will see. Obviously, I assume they're going to little by little drag this out, probably around the late middle, almost to the end of the season, to reveal the truth that we're waiting for. The whole Jon Snow theory, the R plus L equals J. So, hang in there, guys and gals. Just hang in there. But yeah, that was one of my favorite fights in the series, easily. At least way better than the frickin' Sand Snakes fight in season 5. So, alright, let's see what happened now. And then we get the scene back in this, like, 3 scenes of Meereen, or parts of Meereen, I guess, or around the east. Where first is Varys talking to that woman that was, I guess, the prostitute of Meereen that was helping get the Unsullied build by the Sons of the Harpy. And Varys found out, he knows the truth. He's freaking Varys, he knows everything, so... And he was basically giving her, like, almost like a psychological or mental, not really a psychological torture, but he's almost like, he's technically threatening her, but not really, that he's actually going to help her. His own ways of getting information that we see from him. We actually see more closely how he gets that information. We never know how he knows all this information besides mentioning of his little birds. But it's interesting, kind of see how Varys is in his little mind games and how he negotiates and all that. So, obviously she tells him, and then it goes to the scene with Tyrion, Melisandre, and Grey Worm. It's just sitting at a table. Tyrion is bored. He wanted to talk and have a conversation, he wanted to play games, and they were just so serious, they didn't know what the hell's going on. And I kind of laughed in that scene, and even thinking of some drinking games, I was like, hey, that's where drinking games started. You know, the whole, not truth and dare, but you know, the truth where they say a fact or 2 or 3 lies. Or a fact, I'm sorry, my mind's kind of boggling, but you know what I'm talking about. You know, if one of them is true, you know, you take a drink. So... I said, hey, what if Tyrion was the one that started the whole drinking games? I wouldn't be surprised. So, now, and then, I mean, that was just kind of like a little comic relief of that moment in the episode, and then we see, what's it called, Varys tells Tyrion and the rest, he say, hey, okay, here's what I got. Basically, the ones that are helping the Sons of the Harpy and providing them, you know, paying them and all that as the owners or the richest, wealthiest men of the previous 2 countries that Daenerys took over before, you know, Meereen, and one more place, I forgot, Valaris or something like that, that's what it's called. So basically, you just got information, okay, it's those 3, we gotta take care of those 3 places and those people that take control there. So now that's like the next step that's building up how they're gonna deal with those people over there. And then we get Daenerys. I probably got the order switch, but yeah. Anyways, Daenerys goes back to basically just what happened. All you need to know there, she's in that at the temple where all the other, I guess, females of the Dothraki, and one of the widows was like the head of that, telling her just the ways that what she has to do now. She says you can't go anywhere. Since you're the widow of a cow, you have to remain here and see where you're destined to do, according, you know, to Dothraki law, or, you know. So that's pretty much all I need to know. So it's kind of like Daenerys' part to just kind of see, just kind of more little by little info of the Dothraki. There's not much going on there yet, but, you know, it's just kind of like, okay, I guess that's alright. It's just needed to put Daenerys just there, just to fill something up, just to kind of pick up the pace, I guess, on her arc, on her story arc. Now, okay, after this, we actually go to, forgot his name, Qyburn or Qyburn. Apologies for mispronunciation, but the necromancer, I guess if I want to call him that, Cersei, that made, you know, Sir Robert Strong, or the Mountain back from the dead. We see him talking to all these kids. And it revealed that the kids were the birds of Varys this whole time. And Varys mentioned it before, it's like saying, you know, I trust the birds more than people, you know, or something like that. And so he was using kids and that information to get all his spies. The spies, the birds, all that info was from the kids. So, child labor, technically. But I thought that was pretty interesting information. Now, so basically now, that necromancer, Cersei, was telling him to use the birds, or the kids, the little birds, to get information all around that they need, that what, to benefit them, of her, the Lannisters, all that stuff. And then we get to the council where you see, I forget, was it Kevin Lannister and Ornella Tyrell, or Olenna? I'm sorry, I forgot. Apologize for the names. I know there's Pycelle and all the other guys, the few that were there. And Pycelle was commenting about the whole, Sir Robert Stronger, why he's alive, that he should be gone, that he says he wished, that abomination is gone, and so forth. And you see him, they're all walking by and he's still blabbering. He looks at Sir Robert Strong and I believe he farted right in that moment, which I thought was such an odd thing to happen in Game of Thrones. Just throw a farting moment there. So it's just kind of like, and actually I thought what reminded me of the fart was that Game of Thrones bad lip reading. When Pycelle at the end was farting a lot, they're parroting that, and it actually came true. Believe it or not, huh? But it was kind of an interesting humor there that they added at that moment. So Cersei and Jaime were there discussing that they want to discuss stuff that they want to be part of the council to discuss this information, but the rest of the council they said, fine, we can't make you leave, but we don't have to stay, and they all left. They left them behind. They didn't want to deal with Cersei or Jaime in any of those affairs. So they're just almost like, in a way, they're kind of in their own. But I assume Cersei and Jaime have schemes that they want to deal with. Possibly in this case, besides the council, I guess, also the Sparrows, which next scene you see Tommen Baratheon talking to the High Sparrow, asking for the release of his wife Margaery Tyrell. And basically all you need to know in that scene was that they were just having a discussion where the High Sparrow was basically telling us not really up to his decisions, about the gods, or the mother's mercy is what he calls it, and that he can't really do much. So he said, just please take patience and you'll see. But Tommen is kind of like he still hasn't pushed the limit, or says, I don't care, you better give me my wife now. So you just kind of see they're just kind of that information where they both just talked, had some dialogue, and you kind of see more of the High Sparrow's his reasoning of why he does this and that. So I can't fully recall exactly what they talked about at this moment, but that's all you need to know. They were just basically dialoguing with each other, and basically giving reasons why he can't just let Margaery go, and he says why Cersei still hasn't atoned for her sins. And Tommen was just still pissed that he says she did all that stuff, from the last season finale, but still she's not forgiven. And the High Sparrow is trying to justify why she's still not forgiven, or still hasn't fully atoned for her sins. Now, and that's just kind of where it leaves off. So you kind of see Tommen's going to get more involved. Probably Cersei going to push him more on that edge to deal with the High Sparrow and the rest of the Sparrows. So we will see what happens there. What is next that I recall? Okay, so then the next thing, we go back to Arya. She's back at the House of White and Black, and she's still training with the girl and Jaqen H'ghar. Again, I apologize for the mispronunciations. I know it's been this many seasons and years, and I mispronounce it or forget the names during this time. But anyways, yeah, she's still training, and yeah, she's still training. They're training her. She's telling they're asking her about her past, of who's the people on your list. Tell us more. She was like, tell me more about your identity. And she's getting better with the staff. That at the end she actually hit the girl back at last. Getting sick and tired of getting beaten by a stick. So now, so yeah, she goes through all that training. She gives them she tells them about herself, her past self, or technically her identity, but she still claims that she's no one. Obviously, it's part of the test of the for being one of the Faceless Men. So she later confronts Jaka Hakar, and he tells her, you know, what's your name? If a girl says her name, I'll give her eyes back, and she still says, I'm no one. You know, I'm no one. So he tells her to come. He gives her the water from the, you know, from that little fountain or well, and he wants her to drink it. And she, from what we know, everybody when somebody drinks it, they die. So she was kind of afraid until he says, you know, if a girl claims she's no one, she wouldn't be afraid to drink it. So, well, you know, just straightforward. She drank it, and then when she opened her eyes, she finally gained her eyesight. So, good. She could finally see now. It only took, 2.25 episodes? Or 2.5? But yeah. Okay, so Arya, she can finally see. So, good. So, she's no longer blind. Yeah, so I guess we'll see more about her next parts of the training. So again, like I mentioned in the previous videos, we're just going to keep seeing her train more and more to the next level. So now she has her eyesight back. Now we'll see what she's up to over there at Braavos, and what she'll do more in her training. Now, okay, this next scene. Back with Ramsay. Now Ramsay's in control of the Boltons. He leads the Boltons in the North. He's the Warden of the North now. Or, I think he always was, but no, it was Roose Bolton. But he's now the Warden of the North, with Karstark right next to him. And the guy from Umbers, from the family of the Umbers, comes in, and I kind of laugh. He was one of the first people I see. He just freaking told Ramsay, he's kind of like saying, yeah, I have no loyalty to you. He says, I'm not going to bow down to you. It's like, you killed your dad. And he's like, no, he died from poison. No, he killed your dad. Your dad was like, you know, your dad was a dick. And, but Ramsay, you know, kept denying. He said, no, he died, was poisoned by his enemies. The guy, Umber's just like, So, but yeah, he just did not care. He's like, so he says, so why are you here then? And you gotta show me loyalty. He's like, well, your dad showed loyalty to Robb Stark, and look what happened. So, yeah, he says, I just like the part where he just keep freaking telling Ramsay off without even fearing the consequences, surprisingly. But I know why, you know, Ramsay needs more. I guess he still technically needs alliances and so forth, but he says, so why are you here? And Umber's like, well, he's like, I got a surprise for you, a gift. And you see two people, you know, with stacks on their head or bags on their head, and they take one off, and it's Osha. When I saw Osha, I was like, I haven't seen you in two to three seasons. I was like, but wait, if Osha's right now here, and then boom, second reveal, Rickon Stark. Rickon Stark is finally shown again. Where the hell was he? But then I remember he went to the Umbers, but the Umbers now, in a way, betrayed the Starks, and they gave away Rickon to Ramsay. I'm like, hey, it's Rickon. He got older, but, well, obviously, you know, same actor, years have passed by, so, obviously. But, you know, it's Rickon Stark. We finally see Rickon Stark, the final Stark that we haven't seen in a while. But then I was like, aw, shoot, you know, he's with Ramsay, and I'm kind of afraid now. He's under Ramsay's control, under Ramsay's hands, that he can do whatever he wants with Rickon. I'm like, shit. And then worst of all, that I'm like, no, where I just kind of yelled, no, was when I saw, when he says, oh, I have proof. Ramsay was saying, okay, how can I tell he's the real Rickon Stark? I'm like, oh, I have proof. And Umber, you know, gets the direwolf's head of Shaggy Dog, and I'm like, no. I'm like, no. No more direwolves, please. I can't handle any more direwolves. I mean, this is Game of Thrones. We see death every freaking scene, every episode. We might as well get used to it, but I still can't get used to when they kill a freaking direwolf. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm just like, God damn it. Ugh. So there's only 3 left now. We still got Ghost, Summers with Bran, and Nymeria, somewhere wherever Arya left her, back in season 1. But the book readers, they say that she's leading a pack or something, I can't recall, but I'm just kind of like, man. But again, here's another theory. Now, I was shocked, I hated that moment when I saw the head of Shaggy Dog. I was just really crushed in that moment. But I read, again, social media, some people commenting, saying, have you noticed that Shaggy Dog's head is not as big as a direwolf should be? It was pretty like a regular sized wolf head. But people were saying, that said what's strange is that the House of Umber is really loyal to the Starks, and somehow all of a sudden, big betrayal, they give in Osha and Rickon just because, you know, the hate of the wildlings. But man, the theory is that Umber, the House Umber, is actually not only betraying the Starks. Maybe it's a plan, a ruse to say, hey Ramsay, we're on your side, and they somehow found a dead wolf, or they killed a regular wolf, and they gave the head as a ruse. And maybe later, they'll actually, from the inside, kill the Boltons and Ramsay. That's a theory again, but the rest of the real Shaggy Dog dead, man, I don't know, man, I'll see how this plays out. I don't know if it's true from the theories, or if I'm going to accept this theory so far in social media about that. But, man, god damn it. So, I don't know, man. I hated what they did with Shaggy Dog, and now I'm really worried about Rickon Stark, what they're going to do with him. So, well, very last scene, back to Jon Snow. He confronts the main four people that killed him that night, which two of them also being Sir Alliser Thorne and Ollie. So he keeps them, you know, hanged up. Well, he hasn't hanged them yet, but right at the gallows, and, you know, tells each of them, he's like saying, say your last words. You know, the first one's like saying, you're supposed to be dead, you shouldn't be alive. He's like, well, I can't recall. He said, I don't think he said anything, but he's kind of looked at him, went to the next one, and the next guy said, could you please tell my wife that, I died by fighting the wildlings. He's kind of looked at him, almost like, yeah, sure, whatever. Then he goes to Sir Alliser Thorne, and Sir Alliser Thorne, being, of course, Sir Alliser Thorne, saying, you know, you are the commander of Night's Watch, and I killed you, a lot, but it says, I have caused betrayal, but I also did not want the Night's Watch to end, or to die, per se. Obviously, you know why Sir Alliser Thorne did it, so he was basically giving that speech saying that he was justifying his actions, and he wanted the world to know it. And then finally we get to see Ollie. He looks at Ollie. Ollie has kept like a very serious face with such anger, and he didn't say anything. Nothing. So Jon Snow just kind of walks by the rope. He thinks for a bit, and then boom, just like that, he cuts the rope, and all four of them hang. And you see specifically, it focuses on Ollie's face, like his really strangled face on the gallows. And I was like, damn, that's pretty good makeup there. So good for y'all. But yeah, so Ollie, Sir Alliser, the other guys, the other two are finally dead. Especially Ollie, I was waiting for. I mean, I get it. I get why Ollie did what he did to Jon Snow, but you know, we as fans, we love that Jon Snow's character, so we can't really fully respect an Ollie situation of why he did that. We know why, but we're still leaning, you know, towards Jon Snow in this case. So in a way, I'm actually just glad he's dead, but at the same time, I understood why he did it. So, you know, kind of 2 in 1. And then my favorite part is right after he did that, he went to Ed, and I was like saying, you know, we should burn the bodies. And then Johnson takes off his cape, and he's like, his cloak, and he gives it to him, and it's like, what do you want me to do? He's like, you can wear it, you can burn it, do whatever. It's like saying, basically saying, you're now the Night Watch is yours. Basically, you're the commander, I'm giving you this position. And he freaking walks out, and he says, my watch has ended. Boom, and he walks out of Castle Black. like a freaking boss. And that was, I love that moment too in that episode where he just freaking walked, like without turning back, just walking. It's like, my watch has ended, you know. So now Jon Snow's watch has ended. He knows it, and now what is he gonna do next? We'll find out in the following episodes. So now I'm glad he's done with the Night's Watch part. Now he can move on and maybe take back the North. And that's what most people are assuming. He's going to take back the North, probably fight against Ramsay and the Boltons. Well, he has the last Bolton, whatever, but you know, the House Bolton. And as of the other alliances. Now, but yeah, I mean, that's how the episode ended. I thought it was a pretty good ending. Just kind of see Jon Snow's progression of his character. Like I said, he's more direct. He just doesn't care. He's like saying, you know what? He says, I'm done with the Night Watch crap. I've done what I had to do. I did my duty. Now, I'm done with this shit. So, it's like, I'm moving on. So, he moves on. So, yeah, overall, this episode, like I said, there was parts for me, my only favorite parts that I liked this episode was the parts of Jon Snow, like the beginning and the end. In the beginning where he reunited with Ed and Tormund and all that. And Tormund, like I mentioned earlier, made a joke, you know, about like saying, people think you're a god. It's like, I'm not a god. He's like, yeah, I know. So they say, I saw your pecker so small. But why would a god have a pecker so small? And you know, it's kind of like, you know, obviously dick joke or whatever. But yeah, anyways, yeah, this episode I liked. My only favorite parts were just that about the Jon Snow scene, the reveal of Rick and Stark, Osha and Rick and Stark. But at the same time, did not like it at the same time because Shaggy Dog is dead. I hope not, but it highly looks like he's dead. And then Rick and Stark is in trouble now under Ramsay, and you know, we all know Ramsay, so I'm really worried on that. And then the main one I liked was the Tower of Joy, the freaking fight, man, with Ned Stark, Howland Reed, and against frickin' Arthur Dayne. He only appeared in this episode. He died quickly, but he's a frickin' badass. I'm a sucker for dual wielders, so I was just so happy I finally saw a dual wielder that fought pretty well against that many guys. So I don't know. I love that scene in that episode personally. So I mean, yeah, like I said, people say they expected better, but I was satisfied. I was personally satisfied with that scene. I don't care what others say. So overall, this episode, there's parts, like I said, those were like the three main parts that I liked, and the other parts were somewhat interesting information and so moments. So this was a fairly decent episode. It was decent. There's some good, awesome moments, but most of it was just kind of okay moments, or meh, like one or two mehs in there. So overall, I thought this episode was okay, pretty decent, and I'm looking forward to the next one for next week with the things that it'll lead up to. So yeah, I mean, you know, Game of Thrones, right? What can you expect? But at the same time, we always expect the death of every episode. There's always some death. It's kind of a thing now, so but I really see how this plays out now with the whole, will they reveal more about the Tower of Joy? What will Jon Snow do now? And now that I think about it, now that Jon Snow left Castle Black, Sansa Stark is going there now. God damn it. You know what? Man, I wanted to see a Stark reunion, at least one of them, Jon Snow and Sansa, but now that Jon Snow left, he's going to arrive there. Ed is in control of the Night's Watch now. He's going to say, oh, Jon left a while ago. Oh, damn it. So I really want to see Sansa and Jon Snow, you know, at least reunite or something, but oh well. Maybe they'll meet up. I think they'll meet up, but not now. It's already too late. I'm like, damn it. Now that I think about it. Oh well. Again, we'll see how this plays out. We'll see now what they'll do. So yeah, overall it was an okay episode. Fairly decent episode. But yeah, I can't wait what they're gonna do next. So, anyways, I think that's everything that comes to my head to talk about so far. So I'm gonna just cut the video now. It's been already long enough. So if you're already up to this point, thanks for watching, and if you like this video, you know what to do. So, anywho, I am gonna now, I don't know, probably chill out a bit, or just go to bed, maybe. It's freaking late. But anyways, I'm gonna call it now. So anyways, y'all have a good day.